Well, back by popular demand, you haven't seen this car for a long time, since last summer, and just to prove it hasn't even been driven or washed, you can see that the flies on it have gone mouldy where it's just been sitting in the garage. But we've got something to do to it today, so I thought we'd get this on the channel, mix it up with a red GSI, get some new footage. So first off, we've got a new exhaust system to fit to the car. Now the old exhaust system wasn't a true 2.5 inch all the way through, so you see this one here now has a V-band that goes over the rear beam. It's going to be much easier to remove and ain't welded on like the one that's on there now. So as you can see through the tailpipe, it's actually a 2.5 inch all the way through, whereas the Scorpion we've got on there at the minute actually tapers down. Right, so this is the Scorpion exhaust system that's coming off the car. You see there's a flexi section in here that ain't on the Mongoose exhaust system, and this part here has been damaged in the past and hammered about, so it's always been blowing, really gets on my nerves. You can see it's got an AFR bung in this one that we've welded in. We've got to weld a new one into the Mongoose exhaust. So you can see here, this is the section that went over the rear beam. It was always welded, so there was no way to adjust it or anything like that, and you can see it goes to a 4-inch tailpipe. The new one's 3.5 inch. So here's another problem. Even though we've got Vibrotechnic solid mounts, this pipe just kept getting eaten into with the Sierra alternator. So if you haven't seen this car or any vids, you're a new subscriber, go back and check all the videos of this car to see where it's come from. Now the floor pan was an absolute state. Everything's been replaced and welded up. You can see how nice it looks now. Put a new exhaust system on there, so you can see got 3.5 inch tailpipe. You can see the exhaust sits a lot flatter, so this exhaust is not off the shelf exhaust. It's all been actually made out of different segments of exhaust. You can see here this tailpipe sits way too far out the bumper, so you can see it's had a tailpipe put on it. So we're going to bring this flush probably about 2 inches in. Going to chop that, not tonight, but we'll do it and then make that a lot shorter, so it sits a lot flush to the bumper. But you can see there's the ground clearance under here now is absolutely perfect. So you can see that there's no chance. If you've had RS Turbo, you know that around this rear beam sort of area, they scrape along the floor constantly. I ain't got no issues with that now. Right, so today's episode is all about changing these rocker arms over to roller rockers. Now we've got a set of roller rockers, very rare find. Kent used to make them. So in case you don't know what I mean by roller rockers, these are the rocker arms that we're going to take out of the head, and you can see on these they run on a roller bearing just to release friction, release power out the engine. It's going to run like a Swiss watch once this is done. So much smoother, so much well, it's going to free up a little bit of power as well because there's not as much parasitic drag on the valve train. So if you're wondering why the car hasn't actually been mapped yet, that's one of the reasons. So we wanted to wait until we got these roller rockers so that we can get the car mapped at the spec that it's going to be at. And obviously on the P8 ECU, nothing's been mapped yet. So we're still getting running the L8 ECU at the minute, but you know we've got anti-lag board in there, an anti-lag valve and anti-lag throttle body ready to go. So obviously we haven't had the car on the channel since last summer, and as you see, not much has been done to it. We're just going to get this ready for the show season now and just make it mint. So you might see it at a few meets. If you do, come over, have a chat. So it's just stripped it down. This is what we're talking about when it comes to the rocker arms. So you can see these are the old 1970s style rocker arms that come with the car, and when these are slack, when you're revving them, you can see they give a little bit of rattle. So as you're revving them, obviously they won't give that amount of rattle, but they will rattle. And these will not do that, so they will run at a lot tighter clearances. So you can see obviously we're running solid lifters in there at the minute, so we've got to settle up again because the clearances are going to be different. So it's going to take a little while to do, but it's going to look $1 million when they're in there sitting there like that. Because we're not running hydraulic lifters, they won't be able to auto adjust to the new roller rockers. So each one of these is going to be be taken out, and the clearances are going to be have to set again because they're not going to be the same as the stock rockers. So it's going to take a little while to do, but it's going to be all worth it in the end. The process of sorting these solid lifters out is a long process. So we've got through 4 of them already. You can see, so you're on the exhaust side, obviously I expand a little bit more, so it's 0.10 of an inch, and the outside is 0.08 of an inch. So it's tiny clearances. You have to keep taking these out because you can't get to the lock nut. You can with this one because it's fully extended, but not for these ones. Right, with help from the PG Tips Monkey, we've got all the clearances in the solid lifters. So we've got 0.08 on the back and 0.10 on the front, and then we've even written it down in millimeters. So if we're at a track and we need to, because we ain't got the settings with us, we've got it on here. Hopefully it stays on. It's permanent marker. We won't know until we take it back off. So I'm going to start assembling this back up now, give it a start up, see how it sounds. Should sound fine. If it needs an adjustment, we can do that. Well, with a pizza break in between and a tea as well, some bourbons, we've got these all set up now. We've gone and spun it over a couple of times, rechecked them all. A couple went a little bit loose when it all settled down, so we've just done them again. We've got absolutely perfect clearances now, so it should be lovely and quiet when we start up. So we're just about to assemble. So currently we're just having a quick issue with the actual rocker arms hitting the top of the cover, so we've been denting it in different places. and we've just got this last one here. We'll just put some tape across here, clamps it all down, and little tiny little mark here, so you can see it's just touching. So we're just, as we say, just denting it in, making a bit of a bulge so that it just clears. So there she is, all back together and ready to run. So you can see the state of the car at the minute. So just give the carbon fibre roof a quick wipe over. So this is the accumulation of dust. You can see how nice that carbon looks. Just a little bit of a wipe over. So this is the roof with just a bit of polish on it. Now you see it comes up like absolute glass. There's nothing better on this car than this carbon roof. It's one of the major things that we wanted to do to the car. Obviously it takes a lot of weight off the roof, but looks amazing as well. It's just a bonus. So that's the first start from stone cold. Now it's really cold out tonight, so it doesn't help with the fueling, especially the cold start. But it's going to warm up and it'll get a little bit quiet. You can hear how nice it sounds even when it's freezing cold. I'm going to get out, get some exhaust notes so you can hear it, how it's running. It runs so much smoother already, you can just tell how much smoother it sounds. It just ticks along like a Swiss watch. So if you have any Ford RS, especially in a garage, you're going to need one of these. These do humidifiers, just stop these things rusting inside out. You know how bad the rust is on these. And you can see how much water is collected in just an hour. Well, you can't see it, but you can hear it. There's a lot of water in there already. So before we start it up again and show you the exhaust note of the car and give you some revving, just wanted to show you around the car for people who haven't seen this car before. Now go back and check the old videos if you haven't, and you can see how nice it is inside now. It did not look like this like 12 months ago. See, all the roof's been cut out of the carbon fibre, got the blue roll cage in there. And what we're going to do is cover these holes up with the original cardboard that come off the car, just to make it a little bit more tidier. You can see how much that makes it look better. We're just covering up the holes. We're going to do this side as well, these holes here. So this is a quick view from inside the car. See, we've got the Sabelt steering wheel, we've got the flocked dash, you know, the white Lockwood dials, the classic 90s dials. They look brilliant. Can't get rid of them. So you can see we've got the essentials in here, the AFR and the boost gauge. So we've also got the Lucky Mascot in there at the minute. It helped us with the engine. You can see we've got all the custom door cards that we made ourselves. You see inside the roof. A lot of people want to see the roof from inside. And we've got the standard seat in there at the minute. We're going to change it over for a bucket seat. That's one of the things we need to do still. So the driver's seat is obviously safety device harnesses and the Merco seat. It's becoming quite a nice place to sit in here now. Now it's all tidied up. It's come a long way in the 12 months or so. If you see their previous videos, you see what state it was in. You've got the fire extinguisher as well behind the seat. That's essential. Car catches on fire and it's game over. So these door cards were so simple to make. You can see how nice they look with a bit of a satin black. And as you know, one of the things I like on all my cars are these Hayco wind deflectors. They're massively important in the summer. Stage